At Alliance Solutions Group, we're often asked, how can we help local emergency planning committees either jumpstart, get restarted, or enhance their operations and effectiveness within the community planning for hazardous material incidents? Well, over the last 20 years, since I founded Alliance Solutions Group, we've worked with hundreds of local emergency planning committees, writing plans, doing training, exercises, and workshops. We've also conducted a lot of operations based exercises for first responders throughout the community, as well as military, and conducted FEMA training. Prior to starting Alliance Solutions Group, I was a bioenvironmental engineer in the US Air Force, where I became a hazmat technician, learned how to do plume modeling, risk assessments, and write more effective plans and do training for our first responders. Well, a few years ago, the EPA surveyed the state emergency response commissions to identify where there might be some gaps in how active local emergency planning committees are. The response to that survey might surprise you. There's approximately 4,000 of these LEPCs all across the country. 2,500 of them were active, but over 1,200 LEPCs were reported as either inactive or their status was unknown. That's a problem because we have a lot of hazmat moving across our country in both fixed storage facilities and manufacturing and transportation routes. In 2022, we pulled the data from the National Response Center to figure out how pervasive this problem was. There were over 23,000 reported hazmat incidents across the United States in 2022. You can see the breakdown here. 460 evacuations affecting over 24,000 people, 1,500 injuries, 1,000 hospitalizations, 1,100 fatalities, and over approximately $100 million in damages. That's significant. That tells me that our LEPCs have work cut out for them to prepare our communities for a safer tomorrow. So, what are some solutions or best practices? Well, the first thing we always recommend to Alepsi is get your emergency response plan updated with current information, tier two data that was just submitted to you in the past year. Support that analysis with some plume modeling, explosive modeling, evacuation modeling, and ensure that it is compliant with the 9 required elements in the Emergency Planning Community Right to Know Act. The second thing we recommend, if you can put it into your ERP, that would be great. If not, standalone, these are great too. First responders should have access to pre incident action plans for each extremely hazardous substance facility in your community. So as soon as they show up on scene, they know what the hazard is, how big the impact area is, who the points of contact are, and what are all the vulnerable facilities that need to be evacuated that could be impacted. Third, conduct exercises. This is easy, especially after you develop an emergency response plan. Seminars, discussion based exercises like seminars and tabletop exercises might be the first step. But after you've done that, move on to drills, functional, and full scale exercises. These operations based exercises can actually test not only your procedures, but the training that you've been under and how well all the different stakeholders play together. Third, conduct some workshops. If you're not sure where the direction of your local emergency planning committee is going, a strategic planning workshop can help you decisively set some goals and activities over the next 5 years. If you're lacking engagement from EHS facilities, conduct a shelter in place and evacuation workshop to discuss the pros and cons of each of those public protective actions. If you're looking for more engagement from your public sector stakeholders, conduct a community preparedness workshop to identify the vulnerable populations around these EHS facilities that could be impacted and how you're going to respond and make sure the word gets out and the right protective actions are going to be taken. Finally, there's an abundant opportunity to do outreach consultations with schools, healthcare facilities, other congregate living facilities that could potentially be impacted by a hazmat incident. If you would like to learn more about how to re energize your LEPC or take advantage of some of these opportunities to better prepare your community, reach out to me. I'm Bob Campbell with Alliance Solutions Group. My phone number and email are on the screen. You can snap that QR code, it'll go right to our LEPC site on our website to learn more about other resources that are available to you. Maybe watch some other videos.